wonderful, wonderful people, and I hope you're all doing well today. I thought I'd go live because I want to talk about bullying on social media and the impacts that it has on people. I've witnessed it for myself recently, that there's been a lot of negativity here on the YouTube platform, and I want to just talk about it in a discussion way, get people's thoughts and feelings on it. Hello, Chrissy. How you doing? Good to see you. I appreciate you being here. Hey, then Mitzi, how are you? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. So yeah, this is a discussion stream. It isn't going to be a bashing stream or a hating stream. It's a discussion about bullying and the impacts that it has on people. Hello, Becky Taylor. How are you? It's good to see you. So I just wanted to talk about bullying in general. Hey, BWYA. Okay, no problems. It's all good. No problems. Yeah, so I just wanted to come online and voice my opinion on bullying. Recently, one of my close friends on here has been getting bullied, and it's really upset me, the impact of seeing somebody forcibly removed off YouTube and seeing the impact that it's had on him personally. It's really broke my heart. It's not just him that it's happening to. This is the thing. It's happening to people like me. It's happening to people who are getting trolls and everything else, and I don't want people having bullying on social media. We should be able to say what we want on social media to a certain extent, and I feel that social media has become very, very negative. Hey brother, how are you? Good to see you, Charlie. Yeah, and I just feel that this is something that needs to be talked about and discussed, because I've seen a lot of negativity here on YouTube recently. I've seen a lot of hating and disrespect and name calling, and it's just a shame that it shouldn't happen. And it's something that we all need to discuss in a adult discuss way, and getting your thoughts and feelings on this topic. And bullying shouldn't be allowed on YouTube, period. It really shouldn't be allowed. I know there is a lot of channels that are getting bullied and taken down, or they're getting their live streaming abilities taken away, and it's ridiculous. Like, we need to be adults and discuss this properly. So this is why I've gone live, because I hate seeing people being disrespected. Hello, Molly. How are you? Hello, Jan's Live. Jenny, how are you? It's so good to see you. Thanks for being here in my stream. And yeah, this is just a really important topic as someone with a disability and from the neurotypical community as well. Hello, Battlejoy. Good to see you. I wanted to let you know what my thoughts and feelings are. And as someone who has been bullied and picked on myself, I know that it makes you feel like total shit, and it makes you feel low and depressed, and anxiety rises to the point where you feel really, really down. Hello, Marsha. How are you? Good to see you. And hi. Yeah. So I just want to talk about bullying in general and what it means for someone who could potentially have a hidden disability like I do. I'm autistic, so I really struggle with the way that social media goes. Sometimes I struggle with the right way to interact with each other, and I sometimes struggle to let people know how I deal with social media. And I know that BWYA has seen it. I know Charlie has seen it, where I've had trolls attacking me, and I've gone, oh my god, like, what the hell am I doing? And yeah, I just want to come online and talk about it and discuss it like a mature adult, and let my thoughts and feelings come out, and just say, bullying is wrong. However we talk about it, it shouldn't be something that happens still on a social media platform. It should be something that we open, discuss. I'm willing to open my panel up if people want to come up and voice their opinion and let me know what they feel about bullying. Let's discuss this as adults. Let's talk about this in a way that's going to be helpful. Hey, Bug, do you want to come up, darling? Hey, Norexia, how are you? Good to see you. Bug Talk, do you want to come up and help me with this topic, Bug? It'd be good to have you up on the panel if you want to come up, sweetheart, because I think we both have experience of this. We both have incidences where we've seen people being bullied on the social media platform. We've both been on phone calls with people. Okay, Bug, what I'll do is I will send you the link on Google Hangout. So let me copy the link and I'll put it in our Hangouts chat bug. Right, that copy. Let me get another tab up. Google Hangouts tab. Bug, where are you? Bug. Come on, Google, don't start now. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go, Bug. Check your Google Hangouts. I've just sent it to you in Google Hangouts. Rachel, check your Google Hangouts messenger with me because I've just sent it to you in there. So, yeah. I can't talk about bullying without getting totally pissed off and cussing like a sailor. I know, Charlie. We've briefly discussed it, brother. It's such a good idea. I love that you talk about all these kind of things, Gemma. It's super inspiring. Shows people that things like this need to be spoken about. And it's okay to be spoken about. Absolutely. Gemma, I almost quit YouTube last night because of BS on YouTube. Becky, do not quit, sweetheart. Do not quit. Do not let them win at all. Trust me. I've been there, Becky. Trust me. I've nearly quit several times recently. And if it wasn't because of certain channels, which one is about to come up on my panel very shortly, she's going to come up and talk about it. And yeah, we're going to have an adult, mature discussion. We're going to talk about things that are important about bullying and the impacts of bullying and what happens to people when they're getting bullied. Bug Talk, check your Google Hangouts chat with me. I've sent you the link to Google Hangouts, sweethearts. You should be able to click it and come in on the Google Hangouts link that I've sent you in Google Hangouts. So, yeah. Bug, I've sent you the link in Google Hangouts, darling. If you want to come on up to the panel, Bug Talk, I've sent you the link in our Google Hangouts chat. Because I don't want to put it in the chat again because I got told off yesterday about it. Yeah. So I'm going to be talking about bullying, and Bug Talk's going to join me, which is also known as Rachel. She's a sweetheart. She's had experience of this herself, and she's also done a stream on this topic. So I want to get her swing and her vibe on it. And hey, Dojo. Hey, good to see you, buddy. How are you? It's so good to see you, Dojo. Dojo, you can come up if you want to as well. This is an interactive panel. We're going to be talking about bullying and the impacts of it. And I want to get different people's thoughts and feelings on bullying and what they have experienced, what they want to do to try and help people. So this is a really powerful topic from my perspective because I've been bullied as someone with autism and anxiety disorder. I get picked on quite a lot because of my speech and the way that I present myself and the way that my anxiety controls me to a point. And I have to try and keep focused on topic and not try and waffle and go all the time. So I want to try and keep this factual and to the point and try and keep people's interest. And, it's something that I want to talk and get off my heart for quite some time. Bullying is an issue that I've faced quite a lot of the time. And I've had to put up with people calling me things like the R word, which I'm not going to repeat, and brain damage and all that kind of stuff. I've put up with the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst names. Trust me, I have. I've been called, hello, Mr. Pressed and Stressed. How are you? Welcome to the channel. And thank you. I wanted to do this topic for quite a long time because it's happening to a friend of mine right now. And yeah, I'm just going to invite my wonderful friend, Rachel.
Hi.
Hey, sweetie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I've been wanting to do this stream for ages. Something that I read today on Twitter has triggered me off about it. And I was just like, enough's enough. And yeah.
Oh, yes. It's all over the place. I don't think you can honestly get away from it. It's everywhere with everybody. And it's pretty sad.
Yeah, so I thought Rachel, more than anyone who I've known for quite some time, Rachel has had her fair share of negativity and bullying online. She's seen a lot of things that have been said to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, Rachel is quite a good channel to talk about this with. So I'll let Rachel kind of guide you through what she's happened to go through, and we kind of can go backwards and forwards from.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know all exactly what you want me to say. I don't usually like to talk about like specifics, because when you do that, you give whoever's doing it at like the bully, a power over you, and you give them a rise. So I always tell people that if you're in this situation, try your best to not react to it. It's extremely hard, and I know that. Like, easier said than done. I get it. But if you do feel like you need to, defend yourself, I always say defend yourself once, and then try to leave it at that. People who really care about you will see what's really going on. They know you. So don't worry about people believing necessarily. The people who are going to believe what these people are saying are not people who you want around in the first place. So put that in their place. Put that in its place. And remember that it does get hurtful when people that you trust say things. And I always just try to remember that this is, though it hurts, it's more of a beneficial thing because it shows you that that person is not somebody that truly cares enough. And they probably never did. Unfortunately, there are people who are hurting in life, and I also try to remember that. And when I'm running into this, is that these people are just really hurting, and that is why they're lashing out. And it doesn't make it okay, but I always feel bad for them, because if they're hurting that much to try to tear somebody down, then, that they're going through some stuff too. So I'm always trying to lift people up. Be that person to lift people up. Be that person to compliment people all of the time. You see somebody in a chat, say, "Hi, beautiful. Hey there, handsome," whatever. Like, just lift people up and lift yourself up as well. So that's how I always deal with it. And yeah, it's very frustrating to come across anybody who's getting picked on. And if you do see it, stand up and say, this isn't right. Voice your opinion. But sometimes people don't listen to that, and they continue to do it, and they continue to do it. And fortunately, the best way that you can handle it online, because there's really not a whole lot you can do online when you run into it. You just have to start ignoring it and starve them of what they want, which is a reaction from you. So that's usually what my whole spiel is when I talk about bullying, and it's a very important topic to talk about on YouTube, outside of YouTube. We have kids getting bullied. Even adults are bullying each other. It's everywhere, and it's definitely something that we need to talk about. So I saw the little topic, and I was like, yeah, of course I'll jump on, because wonderful Gemma decided to invite me. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, me and Rachel have a lot in common with this topic, because we've both been in certain communities in the past, and we've experienced bullying firsthand, been called graphic names, and some quite disgusting statements were thrown. And the other day I logged onto Twitter, and today again there was some channels had been fighting, and I decided to speak my piece. I was quite polite. I was like, just don't say anything negative, just leave the person alone and everything else. And then it gets shot back as, "Oh, you're attacking me." No, I'm trying to say, look, back off. Yes, you can have your opinion, but when it comes to then saying things like, "Oh, well, this person's creepy," or that's bullying. You don't have to go online and then say, "Well, I don't like this person because." Go and tell them directly what they've done. Don't put it on Twitter and go, "Well, this person's this," and then I catch you doing it. And then now the person who it was aimed at has seen it. Now he's retaliating because he's being picked on. So it's kind of, bullying is really hurtful. You don't know the impact of it when you're being thrown names at. And when I first came onto YouTube, I had some trolls come into my chat, and I remember one of them called me medically the R word and some other stuff. I'm like, you don't even know what I've been through. Like, how can you sit here in my chat and say to me, "Oh, you act retarded," or "You act mentally ill or unstable"? And it's like, you don't know how I cope. with stuff.
And also adding on to that, people don't know who we really are. I'm going to be honest. Like, I mean, we come online, right? I mean, we can hide anything that we want to hide. And also with that, we can't tell you everything about ourselves. You can't really 100% understand who we are or what we're personally going through in our lives outside of YouTube. So, you could have somebody who is dealing with horrible things outside of YouTube. And then if you come in and this person pisses you off and you decide to tear them down, that combined with what's happening in their outside life can really put them in a bad spot. And that's why no matter what anybody does to me, I don't speak on them for the most part. I don't think I've ever really spoken about anything that has been thrown about me, at least on my channel. I have made the mistakes because we're all human, of reacting to things, of talking about people. And like, I seriously am very regretful for that. And I try to hold myself to a standard to not do that, though it is hard to not respond. And I'm guilty of responding myself. But definitely, like, nobody knows what we all go through. I know Gemma pretty well, but I'm sure that there's stuff that I don't know or that I just can't understand because I'm not her. Everybody, goes through their things differently in life. Yeah. So you're not going to 100% understand one person in life. The only person you can really understand is yourself, and even that gets confusing sometimes. So
it's like Rachel knows pretty much all there is to know about me. Pretty much, I'm an open book when it comes to her. I pretty much put everything on my line. I kind of tell her all the ins and outs of everything, and like she pretty much knows that I deal with a lot of people throwing stuff at me and trying to cope with it. And the only thing, technically, the only thing she doesn't know at the moment is the fact that recently I dealt with another family loss, and it was sudden, and I got some comments thrown at me because I didn't cry. I kind of just was like, what, huh? And kind of just didn't react to it. And my mum was like, don't you care? And starts shouting names at me. And I'm like, hold on a minute. I've had only 8 days to deal with it. My auntie is dead. Like,
oh, I'm sorry, Gemma. Yeah, a lot of people too. I mean, like, they handle those things differently. And though a response might be normal for somebody, that same response is not normal for the other person, and it just is different. So definitely with grieving, I mean, there's an entire process. I used to be a nursing assistant, and we learned about all this stuff. Everybody handles it differently. And a lot of the times people are in shock that it happened, especially when something happens so drastically like that. So it's not normal to not cry, and it doesn't mean the person doesn't care. It's just that they're probably in shock and they're dealing with their emotions. And a lot of people also don't want to show that, they don't want to show that what they're feeling. A lot of the times as humans, we feel like we don't want to be vulnerable in front of people, which, it's just, I think it's a natural thing to not want to show that, but there's nothing wrong with it at the same time if you are. But don't push people to grieve or do anything in your box of what you expect them to do.
Yeah, exactly. That comes nicely to what we're talking about, because when you go through an aspect of bullying and you have to learn to deal with emotions that come with that, if it's anger, if it's frustration, if it's crying, sometimes people don't see how you react to bullying. Like with me, when I first started on YouTube, I didn't know how to cope. I was constantly wanting to quit. I was constantly crying, and I was like, why am I constantly doing this? Why do I constantly feel like the world's just going at me and wanting to destroy me all the time? And it wasn't until I kind of got to grips with knowing how to reach out to people, building that relationship, say with you, and I'm like, oh my god, like, why are these people trying to hurt me and say these disgusting insults? And I'm like, it makes you so down, and to the point where you almost want to consider quitting social media. But at the same time, if I did quit, that would have made them victorious. Where I'm like, well, I don't want to give in to them, So I want to battle back stronger. I want to keep going. Even if I feel crappy, it still proves that we're stronger, and it teaches you that life lesson of not to give up just because someone's being horrible. And I've always been taught to be headstrong and go, well, that person was negative, but you can carry on and ignore them and do something else.
Yeah,
but sometimes
absolutely.
I'm just like, I can't. I focus
No,
on
yeah.
Yeah,
it's definitely hard. It's definitely hard to push through it. But I think that's a good way to handle it. What you just said, push through it. Also, if you have people coming to you to vent, I must say I do have people who come to me to vent and everything. Be an ear to listen, offer advice. Do not, under any circumstances, it doesn't matter if down the road the person does something horrible to you, never release anything that anybody says because they trusted you to vent
absolutely.
to. And that means something. Even if you're not in a good place at the time, do not use what people venting their frustrations, trying to get help to better themselves, how to deal with situations. Don't put that out there. Like if it's about somebody, because granted, on YouTube, we all run into those people that just drive us nuts. Or, and it's normal. And when people come to me with that kind of stuff, I also don't judge necessarily the other side. I try to kind of see things from possibly both sides. I mean, sometimes there's just people who are just straight up bullying people. And then at that point, it's like, okay. But yeah, it's ridiculous when somebody comes out and shares like DMs of somebody venting because that person trusted you. And I just if you don't want it done to yourself, don't do it to somebody else.
Yeah, that's definitely an important point because there is a lot of social media stuff that I've seen recently where there's been private messages shared out, or there's been threats of, oh, well, I'll go onto our Google Hangouts chat and I'll show the whole world what you've been saying to me. No! Yeah. Like, don't do that because you're killing your friendship. You're killing them with threats of being nasty. Like, if you have an issue with somebody, or you get to a place where things start getting a bit bad, or you have a disagreement, go to that person and work it out with them. Don't go onto social media and paste all about them everywhere, because they're going to find out if it's direct from you or with someone else, and it's going to end up tearing the friendship apart. I've had it done to me where people have tried to make things up about me. For example, a few days ago, someone tried to make up that I'd said stuff about them and I hadn't, and they're like, well, Gemma's two-faced and Gemma's done this. I'm like, prove it. Where's the proof?
Yeah.
Is it direct from me? Have I talked to you? No. Did I say these things? No. And now it's been cleared up and dealt with, but it still took 3-4 days for people to believe me. They go, oh, Gemma didn't say anything. I'm like, no, I didn't. But it still took 3-4 days of people accuse me going, were you being a bully? No. So it's very, very dangerous when you go down that road of sharing stuff out like that, because it gets mistwisted, misquoted, and it's very, very dangerous. So I think this stream should have been done a bit sooner, but it's kind of, I want to build it up, and I know you've had experience with it. So I was like, you know what? Bug has experience. I know a few other people in my chat have experience with it, and they just triggered it off. I think my sister's reading Twitter, and I'm like, I'm gonna go home late and I'm gonna stream about this. I've had enough. So
and definitely talk a little bit about my personal life, but I'm not gonna tell you all the details, all the crazy details. But I've been having a situation in my personal life, and I'm sorry if you can hear my kid. He just got home and I guess he's cranky. But it's hard when people do things to you that are really messed up.
Yeah.
And when they have done things to other people that you are aware of, but the other people are not aware of. Yeah. To not go and then tell those people that person then that they've been saying that stuff about that them. And you really have to have a lot of self-control. And when you try to go and do that, all that you're trying to do is rip another person down, in all honesty. Like, that's what you're trying to do because you're hurt and you want them to hurt. So always be aware of that. And yeah, just do your best to not go there, because I've seen it happen all the time. I see it happen in real life and I see it happen online, like DMs getting leaked, and it's crazy to me.
It's not just social media. This is the thing that I wanted to kind of target on social media, but today, for example, I was listening to a radio podcast and they're talking about bullying, and I was like, how on hell are they saying that bullying only happens in a minority and to certain groups of people? It doesn't. It happens everywhere you go. Just because it's not reported or talked about, like we're talking about now in a healthy discussion, it doesn't mean that an adult's not going home from work upset, feeling hurt, doesn't want to go to work because there's a bully at work. And again, it's a thing that gets hidden. I hid a lot of my bullying for quite a long time. And when I came to YouTube, I was like, phew, finally I can express myself and tell the world about it.
Yeah.
And it kind of becomes that safety blanket. It's like, well, these people will listen to me. They're not going to judge me. And I can let myself be myself. Whereas being with family over here, or even reporting about bullying over here, is a case of shut up and kind of fit in society and don't say anything. I'm like, no, why should I do that? So
yeah. Well, and then, like, a lot of things happen in life that you're just expected to be quiet about, and like, don't be quiet. Like, have morals, have standards, and if somebody crosses that line, you stand up for yourself. Or if you see somebody crossing that line with somebody else, you stand up for that other person. And then we also have to think about, it's crazy to me that grown adults are doing this. So what's happening when grown adults are doing this is that our children are getting exposed to this. And then our children grow up thinking that it's okay. And that's what it is. It's a cycle. It's a constant cycle, and we have to be better. We need to choose better, not only for ourselves and our peers, but for our children, so that our children don't have to deal with that. I mean, think about your own children when you're reacting to things. How would you like it if somebody did that to your child, if you have children? Or if you have family, how would you react if that was your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, whoever it may be in your life that you care about? How would you feel if somebody did that to them? And that's also, I always keep that in mind when I am trying to figure out how to handle situations and how to react. I think that's really important.
Exactly. It's always, and also it's just, like you said, your self-coping strategies of how to deal with it as well. So when you're going through that period of being low and upset and trying to figure out why, and you have to have things to help you. So when Rachel started telling me about how to calm down and control my anxiety, and I was like, why the hell have I been kicking off so badly and getting anxious over the most stupidest of comments, when technically these people don't even know who I am or know what I do? But at the same time, in my head, I was so built up with anger and frustration, I just wanted to go, you know what? Here's your reaction, but I'm not going to, because Rachel's taught me better than that, for one, and two, that's exactly what they want. If they get a reaction, even the most slightest little thing you say back, they go, oh, bingo, we've hit them, we've hurt them. It's,
Absolutely. I mean, they will jump right on it. Like, no hesitation. They will jump on it right away if you give them that reaction. And Gemma, reacting to it, like, I know you sometimes reacted to it in the past, and that's normal. It's a normal human response. Like, I want to say, if you react to something, right? Don't beat yourself up over it. You're human.
Yeah.
Everybody's human. The important part is that we learn from our mistakes and what we've been through. And Gemma has absolutely done that. And I don't know if I would say that it was because I taught her how to do it. I think that she went through it herself, and she came to that conclusion by herself, that just giving that reaction is just going to give them more fuel. So I think Yeah, I think you don't give yourself enough credit, because I watched you go through that process and you absolutely did it by yourself. You recognized
Yeah, I
that.
think part of it was the fact I listened to
Mhm.
you, and like you said, part of it was me kind of going, Gemma, enough's enough. You've gone through this. You've had to deal with crap, and you've been upset and angry and frustrated. And I've really been tempted to go live and go, rah, but I haven't, because I'm like, no, deal with that first. Come back when you feel ready, and
Yep.
that's why I've took a 3.5 month break to process my head and get back on my meds and all that kind of fun stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I feel ready. I'm calm. I'm not as anxious anymore, and I'm ready to go live again. And I'm like, you know what? Now I know how to do a panel. I'm going to get my friends on here and talk about these in a more healthy way. Whereas last time I would have ranted and probably said a few bad words because I was in an unstable fit of mind. But now we're able to do this. We're able to debate it in a way that's not disrespectful or name calling or bashing people. Whereas this is what we need to be doing on YouTube. This is what YouTube is
Yeah.
built for, and that's why you do it. Your channel is very, very good like that. You've interviewed a lot of people and you debate really well, and that's what I like about you, because you're able to go from both sides of it.
Well, thank you.
So that's
Yeah,
why
I
I
always try to take into account that people come from different walks of life, and to understand that not everybody's going to agree with me, and that's okay. I also think it's really important to have somebody that you can confide in and that you trust, that you can go and you can vent to if you need to, and you know that they're not going to turn around, no matter what happens between you two, and use it against you. But just so you know, people are asking about the child noises. Yes, I do have a young little one. So that's what you're hearing.
Rachel does have a little boy. He's adorable, and he's a sweetie. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one. He's crazy. He's a little daredevil, that kid. He's always jumping off of things and stuff. So
yeah, Rachel's little boy is cute. Like he does sometimes make an appearance online. I know when I've been on live streams, and also you'll see this little person walking past in the background when she's doing a video. But you might see him, you might hear him. That's all good. So don't worry about that.
I did actually take him off of social media, though. Him and my husband. I decided to take them off because there's I've seen it a bunch of times. People attacking people's children and their husbands. The closest that I mean, maybe down in the future, like in the future somewhere, I might bring them at. But for right now, these two, that's my son, that's my husband. That's about as much as you're going to get right now. And then that's me. So
I think that's the best thing, though, because obviously it's keeping your family safe. And I've even started doing it. I used to live stream with my nephew a lot, as you know. You've seen him on my live streams, and then it wasn't until YouTube made the new rules about minors being on live streams on videos. I was like, I can't keep doing this. And now every live stream that I've done with him in the past, they've been put to private, and they'll stay there until I feel safe to have him on there. But it's about self-respecting yourself and that child, because technically you're meant to be 16 to have an account. So I can understand why YouTube is slamming channels for it now, because if you're not 16, you shouldn't be on YouTube, because it's not the appropriate age. You've got a lot of grown-ups on the platform, and you don't really know what to expect when you get on it. Even though I've only been on it 3 years, I was in my mid-20s when I got on here. I still find it confusing. So for a child at 16 who's going from a childhood standpoint to an adult platform or something, it's like, oh, okay. So you have to be really careful with communication as well, because you don't know often who's watching you or what you're saying. So
yeah, exactly. And then, like, for me, I might be a little biased, but my child's perfect. But I don't want anybody to comment on anything about him. So, I mean, like, anything negative towards him. And there are people who will literally go and tear down people's kids, and it's really horrible, but it does happen. And I just don't want to subject him to that. At least at this time, when he gets older, maybe I will consider. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I'll ever consider it again. And it really sucks that we have to think about that stuff with, we have to, like, protect our children because there's such nasty people online that will say things about them. Luckily, I haven't had anybody say anything about him in particular, but I have had people come at me for the way that I parent sometimes, which is weird because like they don't know how I parent, because they don't see behind the scenes of how we care for him. So I don't know. It's just pretty crazy. And yes, if anybody has questions for me, go ahead and put them in
Yes,
the
I
chat.
need to say hello to a
answer
few
them.
people because I know we've missed some people whilst
Yeah.
we've been discussing. Hello to Mark. Hello to Shani from the Crohn's Chick. How you doing, Han? Good to see you. I'm actually being interviewed by you later today. So good to see you. And we've also had Gordon. And yeah, he was hinting at a certain question. Gordon, all I'll say to your question is, yes, the threats have subsided, but I've still been contacted behind the scenes by some people trying to get me back. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. Stacey Morgan, hello. Poseidon MGTOW, hello. Turban Alpha, hi. Good to see you, Laura Russell. 8-Bit Reactor, it's been a while since I've seen you, but hello, how are you doing?
I'm reading the
Who
chat
else have
too,
we
just so
got?
you know. That's why I'm looking down.
Yes, hello to Rebecca C, my sis, how you doing? And we've got a troll in here, but if one of my mods can get rid of Peter Pan, he's a troll. He's making comments about me not having eye contact. So yeah, you can go bye-bye, Peter Pan, please. If one of my mods can get rid of him, I would appreciate it. I think we're back up to date again.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I think Gordon left, but he's making me laugh in the chat because he was talking about my husband was microwaving some chicken the other day and it caught on fire. And we had a big old issue with that. And he was in here talking about not letting my husband cook. The weird thing is my husband is actually like an amazing cook. I don't know what happened. He put the chicken like on a paper plate and put it in there and it caught on fire. And we were just like, okay. But like, he's actually a really good cook. So I don't want to bash my husband's cooking skills. But I thought it was funny because he was in here talking about something about like the charred chicken and it was just making me laugh. So anyways.
Yes. Hello to Christy Moffat. I just saw you popped in. Hello. And that troll is gone. Thank you. Charlie and Crohn's Chick, who has got rid of him. Ben on Adventures. Hey Ben, how you doing? Good to see you. And he says, popped in to say hey, Gemma. Social media can be a place where bullying can happen. Also, a lot of social support is available in these awesome communities. Agreed, Ben. Absolutely. Yes.
Yep.
So it's definitely, like me and Rachel said the whole time, it's about that support network and getting with the people that you trust to talk to about anything. And me and Rachel pretty much have an open book. Pretty much we talk about anything pretty much in our Google Hangouts calls, and we kind of discuss anything from bullying to anxiety issues to family issues. We kind of go back and forwards with ideas for each other. And I know Rachel's very passionate about bullying streams and she likes to discuss things. So I was like, you know what? I've read enough on Twitter today. As soon as I saw Bo talking to Twitter, I was like, yep, get her on here. So I just like dropped the Google Hangouts link to her in the StreamYard link in the Google Hangouts because I was doing it yesterday, dropping it in the chat, and 3 people were like, no, don't do that. So I was like, oh, okay.
It is dangerous. I have seen it go really wrong, but yeah. Let's see. Laura, I think, hang on.
Laura, to your question, yes, I do. I have clinical anxiety disorder. I'm actually on medication. I've been on medication on and off for about the last 2 years. So I pretty much suffer with it every day. And I also have anxiety with my autism. So I kind of have it twice. I have it mental health based and I have it as part of the triad. So yeah, I kind of have to counterbalance it. So I know quite a lot about anxiety and how to look after myself.
Yeah, I have both anxiety and clinical depression as well. Best thing that I could tell anybody with anxiety or clinical depression or really anything that is kind of more mentally based, go to a counselor or something. Go get help. It's okay. Like, you're not weak to go get help. It really helps to talk about stuff, just to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
So don't feel weak to go and get help. Don't feel like getting on medications makes you weak or anything like that. A lot of the times, say anxiety or depression is chemical. It is a chemical imbalance in your brain. So a lot of people need medications to balance them out. And that's nothing that, like, I mean, we can't control it, right? So like,
No.
why are we ashamed? Why are we ashamed to say, yes, this is what I have. I'm getting help. Like, that makes you strong to go and do that. So I would say go get help. Your counselor will give you tips on how to deal with it. They'll help walk you through it because, for instance, I have panic attacks. They'll walk you through how to recognize when those are coming on and how to do your best to stop it before it happens. And then if it happens, how to cope with that. So my biggest thing is go and, go to a counselor or something. Go to your doctor. You can start at your doctor. They'll give you a referral to a good counselor. That's how I did mine, was through my doctor, and she's an amazing doctor. She gave me an amazing counselor that I clicked with right away. I actually just got back from a session today. So, and also later in life, like, because for me, I go through different periods depending on what goes on in my life. I kind of always deal with it in the background. Sometimes it gets worse and then sometimes it gets better. It's just how it works for me. But so sometimes, at certain points in my life, I'm okay and I don't need to go. And then sometimes I need to go. And also you got to recognize those times and go. Choose yourself. Absolutely. Choose your mental health and put yourself first. And
absolutely right.
Anybody who judges you about it, they can just go ahead, just show them the door.
Because, well put. Yeah.
Don't let anybody judge you about it. And I'm probably going to do a stream actually on my channel about anxiety and depression. And I also have a lot of other medical stuff that I deal with. And I'm probably going to do like a series grouping that all in, and how my sickness from a child turned into the stuff that I have today. It's a crazy story. I've been sick since I was like 10 years old. So, but yeah, definitely go in and get advice. Seek counseling. There's nothing wrong with it. And absolutely. As always, have your support system. I mean, it's very important to have somebody that you can call if you're having an anxiety attack, if you're feeling suicidal, because I go through that as well. Like, reach out, let people know how you're feeling.
Don't just disappear and not say a word, which I done. Not a good idea. Ever.
Yeah. Well, people freak out. I freaked out multiple times about a lot of people in my lives because they just disappear. And I really try not to do that to people myself, because it's a natural, I feel like in anxiety and depression, it's a natural thing to try to retreat from people and push them away.
Yeah.
But I try to be conscious of that because when you do that, it can hurt them. And I don't ever want to hurt other people. So, just kind of, even if you don't want to talk about it, just be like, hey, I'm kind of going through stuff right now. I don't really want to talk about it, but I just wanted to let you know that I haven't forgotten about you. I'm not avoiding you, nothing like that. I'm fine. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, I agree with Rachel 100% here, because asking for help is not the weakness. And for a long time, I was ashamed to ask for help. I hid my anxiety for quite a few years until it got to the point where one of my best friends had died and my behavior was going through skyrocketing. I stopped eating for a while, and then my mum was like, enough's enough, Gemma. I can't cope with your behavior no more. There's something wrong. So we went to the doctors, and we had this fresh out of med school doctor, and she was useless. Point blank, didn't want to know me, didn't want to assess me, nothing. So she spent 10 minutes writing my medical history down, sent me out the door, and she said, there's nothing wrong with you. You're going through a bit of a low period. It's normal. Go home and sleep it off, basically, is what she said.
Yeah.
So I did that, went home, didn't eat, didn't sleep, felt like a zombie, walking around all the time. Went back to the doctors 6 weeks later, same thing. had another new doctor, spoke to them, told them that I was ill, all this stuff. No. It's just a temporary period being low. You'll switch off from it. It's not going to last forever. I was like, no, this needs to stop now. I don't feel well. I'm sick. I've stopped eating. And they're like, yeah, well, that's a temporary side of anxiety. That's what it does to you. I'm like, I've had this for months now. It's not just a temporary thing. I don't want this. It wasn't until, a year after I've been complaining that they were like, oh, well, actually, your anxiety is chronic. It's constant. It doesn't go away. And they put me on meds. And ever since then, I've kind of slowly gone from being up here, skyrocketing, to back down to the point where I can be calm. And I'm like, there was something wrong with me. Why didn't no one listen?
Yeah, and don't doubt yourself. I dealt with that for years. I'm not even kidding. Like I said, I've been sick since I was probably like 10. I went to so many doctors and they kept saying, it's on your head, it's on your head. And I also had more than just anxiety and depression. I had a lot of digestive issues. I was diagnosed with something called celiac disease, which basically makes you vomit like every certain amount of time. I was like every 30 minutes for like an entire year. And it was bad. And I kept going, and it took a long time until I found my current doctor, who actually listened and was like, okay, this person's going through something. A lot of the times too, when you can't see it physically, the doctors will just be like, oh, whatever. Or they will, like, I think Laura said something about she doesn't waste her time going to doctors because she doesn't want to get on more medication. And I get that. Like, I have had so many things prescribed to me over my years of being sick that it's insane. And I, a lot of the time, am very skeptical of getting on anything else. For a while, I was on medication for depression and anxiety because I needed it. I was extremely suicidal and I was having problems. So I got on medication for a certain amount of time until it let up. And then I slowly got off of it and, tried to just live without it. And it worked. And, maybe one day I'll have to go back on it. But also, you don't have to get on medication. You have a say on what your care plan is. Ask your doctors. Be very, very involved. Ask your doctors if there's ways that you can do things naturally. If there's, like I said, you can go to counseling and you don't have to necessarily be on medication. If a medication makes you feel weird, for sure, tell your doctor that, and they can switch your medications around. Or if you don't want to be on it, they can help find different ways to cope with that stuff. But I do know it's extremely frustrating when you're sick and nobody believes you, because I had that happen my entire life. So yeah, I totally get that. And it's like, really, like, you start thinking that you're going crazy or something, that you're just making this up, because that's what I was told all the time, that it was in my head, that this wasn't really happening. And like, also for like a child, because mine happened to me like when I was very young. It started at a very young age. That's really hard on a child, or really on anybody, grown up or not, to be told that they don't know what they're talking about. As a child, I went through extremely extensive tests, and it's like no child would choose to do that stuff. Like, I don't know if they just thought it was attention seeking or what it was, but yeah, that's what I always got a lot, it was in my head, and it was like an attention seeking behavior or something. I think we really need to listen to each other more. Doctors need to listen to patients. Take what they're saying seriously. Yeah,
exactly. It's like the other day I went for a checkup myself, and they were like, oh, how is your anxiety, Gemma? Are you feeling level and all that kind of stuff? And I'm like, do you know what? No, I'm not, because when you have a stressful situation like a death happening, I said, I recently lost my auntie and everything was going well. I was on an even keel, and all of a sudden it's like, bam, wallop. I have one bad day and it just goes whoop. I said, why do I feel I constantly want to cry? I'm angry. I'm confused. I don't know why my auntie died in her sleep out of nowhere. It was just, I get home from a camping holiday. Everything was relaxed. I was happy, cheerful. I'd had a really peaceful weekend with my dad. And then to come home to 10 missed phone calls from my mum crying and going, "Oh, your auntie passed away in her sleep, or you're away."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why? What happened? Like, no explanation, no prep, no nothing. And now I have to face the fact I might be going to a funeral. So it's
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah, well, and then like things like that with people who have anxiety, I mean, that just skyrockets it. I mean, then you start thinking about, like you just said, you're thinking about that you have to go to a funeral and all that stuff. I mean, like it just automatically like triggers an anxiety response, I think. And
Yeah.
also, life just hits you out of nowhere all the time, and it's so unpredictable, and it's really hard to cope with that factor of life that we really don't know. We don't know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, when we're going to lose people, that kind of stuff. We don't have control over it, and unfortunately, it's extremely hard to deal with. And that, I mean, that goes for a lot of things in life that we don't have control over. So
No, exactly. This is the thing. Bullying is something that we can start taking control of, but at that time when you're in that spot, like you said, you become so down and focused on the negativity and the hateful behavior, and this is where we need to come together and go, actually, no, instead of going down that path of being hateful or angry or upset at someone, we need to come together and connect and go, well, how can we deal with this better so we don't react to it? How can we stop it before it goes boom and then we just blow up out of nowhere? And that's why YouTube needs to have something done, because there's no support unless you go to a
no,
content creator or someone really well. I mean, you get on really well
yeah.
with my family. You don't have that. Who do you go to?
Yeah, it's very hard. I mean, and it's kind of like, because it's obviously there's not enough. YouTube's not doing enough, but the problem is it's such a huge platform that I don't think that it's possible for them to do enough. I mean, they have so much content being uploaded every single day, and then you have stuff that's happening on not their platform, like a lot of things happen on Twitter. Twitter is actually kind of really toxic sometimes, so you have to be careful about Twitter. But they cannot monitor all of this stuff, so it's kind of up to us at this point to, when we see it happening, stand up for that person. And if you do stand up for that person, you're going to get backlash 100%, like no question. If you stand up to somebody who's bullying somebody, it'll come back on you most likely. But that's okay. Expect it and know that you did the right thing. And then always go and lift people up that you see who are going through that. Be there for them to talk to, give them compliments, because they are amazing. Everybody's amazing, in their own way. Everybody has something beautiful about them, and just talk them up and inflate their self-confidence, because sometimes we all need that. We all need to be told that we're beautiful or that we're just good people, because sometimes we doubt ourselves. And I think it's important that we do that for other people, and then hope that when we're in a space where we need that other people do that for us as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, having like that community to ask for help and that support, guys. You need to know you're not alone, and that you can either come to me or to Rachel or to someone that you feel comfortable with, who you trust on the platform, because there is that connection. We do have help available, but the problem is you don't, sometimes people don't seek it, and if you don't seek it, you don't know it's there. Whether it's someone on YouTube or even a medical professional, like Rachel says, a counsellor or a doctor or someone who you deal with on a frequent occasion to talk to, because they can then guide you to someone else, and they could offer you another therapy. I know with me, they're trying to do CBT or talking therapy, just sitting talking to someone and saying, look, this is wrong, how do I deal with it? And then it gets the ball rolling into the positivity, rather than going, oh, I'm so upset and confused all the time. And yeah, it's somewhere that you can always do that. So
Yeah. Like I said, I definitely think that counseling is like the best thing that I mean, even with bullying, if you're going through something where somebody's bullying you, you just need somebody to talk to. Like, go see a counselor. Like, they will help you, and they'll help you learn how to handle the bully. A lot of the times, actually, it's kind of funny. I'll share a little bit. But, I've had people say online things about me. And I've literally just been like, oh, yeah, you got me, like in a sarcastic way. And they will usually always back off when you do that. Because what are they supposed to say if you like agree with them? Now, they might not. I think they realize that I agree sarcastically with them. But like it just kind of throws them off. And then they are like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't be saying this or something. I don't know. It's actually worked multiple times with me that I've done that to people and they're just like, oh, okay. And they actually have started to like me because I do that. And then like I've actually become friends with people just by doing that. And, usually it's because that person is hurting and I recognize that and I know who I am. Always know who you are as a person. Be confident in yourself. Love yourself. And then don't allow people to tear you down. So when you read something that is a horrible thing about you, or you see a video that's made that is saying nasty things about you, just remember who you really are and how those people don't really know who you are.
Exactly. That's the thing. Rachel has brought some really good points in this stream because she's done a lot of work on researching bullying and the impacts of it, and she's had a lot of interviews with people on it. And there's one thing that I feel strongly about: when people are getting bullied, I'm just like, oh, I don't like it. I want to fight people and try and help them. And I've been through it myself, so I can sit and go, yes, I've been bullied, but I've come back through it again stronger. I've learned how to deal with it. At the same time, I get so many messages on Twitter and people going, but you don't look like you've been bullied, and how can you sit here and talk about it? I'm like, I've been there. I've been there off YouTube as well. I've had people throw comments at me in the street and go, oh, you don't act autistic, or how can you be on a social platform if you're autistic? Because I want to, and to prove a point to them stupid comments. That's why I do what I do, because people are still judging it and they go, well, you don't act like you're like that. You don't headbang or you don't bite your hands. I'm like, that's the most stereotypical thing you could have said.
Yeah, well, and a lot of people are just ignorant. They don't understand, and that's extremely frustrating to deal with when you run across somebody who is that ignorant and then they make those comments and it's just like you just want to be like, have you looked anything up ever in your life? Like what? Like that's always really frustrating to me. I really hate seeing people make those comments towards other people. Like I said before, everybody goes through things differently. So take, for instance, if somebody has, I don't know, some kind of issue with their medical health, with their mental health. If somebody's schizophrenic, because I don't think I know anybody who's schizophrenic, so I'll just use that. If somebody's schizophrenic, their schizophrenia is not going to be the same as the next person's. Symptoms are going to be different. There's like a broad definition of what it is. And that's how people get diagnosed with things. And that goes with everything. There's a broad set of symptoms. And not everybody's going to have the same symptoms. Not everybody's going to react to things the same way. And that's just because everybody's different and they're human. So again, don't expect somebody to be a certain way just because they've been diagnosed with something. They can experience it extremely different than another person that you know.
Exactly. Hey, Haunted Jim, welcome to the stream. If you guys have any thoughts or questions or debate that you want to debate with me and Rachel, let us know. Her channel is called Bug Talk as well. She does a lot of inspirational interviews and live streams. She's a really down-to-earth person, so Rachel does a lot of topics like this, and she has a lot of life experience with these issues. And so, yeah, throw us any questions. We're pretty much open to answering questions, obviously within a reasonable sentence frame. But yeah,
no crazy stuff.
Yeah, me and Rachel have been through the mill with some of the past comments, and we've kind of been like, you know what, we'll just battle them and we get on with it. And so if you have any messages or if you want to ask something, then let me know or let Rachel know by highlighting Bug Talk in the chat. Hello, John. How are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the chat back up because my phone died and that's what I was watching it on. But my computer's being extremely slow, so I can't see it right now. But I'm trying.
It's okay. I can reach you. There's John Rice has just joined, and Shops is just dropping your link and my link in the chat like every 5 minutes. He's dropping your
Yeah.
link. So thank you, Shopsy, for dropping Bug Talk's channel link and my link. I appreciate that. It does help me because I'm obviously trying to broadcast and I keep forgetting that I have my own links. So it's helpful that you're dropping them for me. So
Yes, thank you for the link drops. And thank you for sharing my link. I appreciate it.
yeah, Sharpshooter pretty much shares all my guest links. He was doing it the other day as well. He came in, I didn't realise he was here, and it's like boom, boom, boom. I was like, oh, oops. I hadn't even acknowledged him for dropping them.
Yeah.
Hello, Ben Whitey. How you doing? I haven't seen you here before. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. If you have any questions, let us know. And I
Trying
know
to
that.
go through to make sure I didn't miss anything here.
And Lulu's just pointing out to people that this is a live stream. Thank you, Lulu. I appreciate that. Lulu is an awesome mod. Hey, Jenny. How are you? Good to see you. I appreciate you popping in and saying hey. I hope you're doing well. If you don't know Bug Talk people, please subscribe to her channel, ring the bell, leave her some comments. She could really do with the support. She's an awesome, inspirational channel. There's a lot of live streams about bullying and anxiety, mental health. She does a lot of streams about how to support YouTube creators with situations. She recently did a fantastic stream with Gatorbyte. Absolutely awesome stream. And I watched part of it live and I had to watch the rest on the replay because I fell asleep. But
It
it
happens.
was a really good stream, and yeah, definitely some good questions were asked in that as well. So if you
Our
don't know
dang,
Bug Talk, you should subscribe.
our
Definitely.
dang time zones, Gemma. They
I
always get.
know.
I know, but yeah, it's all
I
good. But
was
I don't know if you saw, but me and Kathy are actually going to do a live stream on the 5th about how to love yourself, learning to love yourself, those bad days, and
yes.
lifting people up. I always like my channel, I try to do topics that can help people and that will, like, I don't know, just in general help people. So I kind of want to do more fun ones though too, like maybe playing games
Yeah, for sure. I
and
think we
stuff.
definitely need to start doing like fun streams. Like this is my fourth panel I've done in 4 days. So
I know, go Gemma.
I'm
Dang,
trying
I
to
don't
get
have
used
that.
to being
I
back.
just, I wish I could do more, but being a mom is just, it's a little
Yeah,
time consuming.
life
So,
life comes first. I get it. That's why I took like a 3.5 month break. I just was doing uploads like twice a week, and then I went complete dead. And everyone's like, "Where's your uploads, Gemma? Where are you?" I'm like, yeah,
yeah, you just needed a break, and that's perfectly fine. You got to take breaks on YouTube a lot of the times, because
yeah,
it just gets crazy. I went into YouTube expecting like this community and like everybody be so nice, and then like when you really get into it, it's just like, whoa. Like
yeah,
this is kind of like a little bit, it's really competitive, and there's a lot of people out there who will tear other people down just to try to get ahead, to get views. I mean, like I can't even tell you how many times I've seen people like getting in fights and then it like carrying on just to get views, and I'm just like, I don't know why you want to live that way, but I guess you go do you. I don't want to deal
yeah,
with like a never-ending fight in my life. It just seems like it'd be extremely stressful. So I seriously hope that
yeah.
those people that decide to do that are okay, because that's extremely stressful. And I've seen it everywhere. And then you have like, big YouTubers who are getting into things, a lot of cancel culture happening, where people get pissed off at each other and then just like put things out there, and then nobody has all the information, and everybody cancels somebody, and the person really didn't do anything.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's a lot of that
that's
out there.
definitely one topic I want to discuss a bit more with people because I was talking
Mm-hmm.
to a YouTuber on Twitter earlier about the cancel culture, and I'm just like, wow, I had no idea that there was such a thing as that, and I've kind of
Oh
been
yeah.
doing bits of research on it. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's a huge thing, like no joke, everywhere, big YouTubers too. I mean, nobody's immune to it. Like you make any kind of like controversial statement or anything that could possibly be twisted, into you talking to somebody or talking about somebody or something like that, they will jump on it. And like it's crazy. I've seen it happen so many times. I know it happened with a makeup artist named James Charles. I don't know exactly the details on it because honestly, when I see that stuff, I'm just like, okay, I don't really care to know more about this because a lot of the times it is just people canceling people because they got their feelings hurt and not talking to them behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly, definitely. Guys, if you want to have any questions or if you have experiences of bullying and you want to come and talk about it, if you want to connect with me on Hangouts, and my email is gemmagrace1988@gmail.com. If you want to send me a Hangouts request message, and then I'll add you to the stream if you want to come and talk about bullying or the anxiety side of things and let us know about your thoughts on it. I'm sure Rachel and me would like to debate you and kind of just talk about what we can go back and forwards and ask you some questions. I know me and Rachel would love to kind of get to know people when there's still 24 of you right now in the chat. So yeah, let us know if you want to come on the chat. I don't know who else is in the chat. I haven't been checking.
Yeah,
I've been
also,
trying to...
yeah, I know it's kind of hard. We've been talking a lot, but I kind of want to know too, like, how do you guys handle it? Like, if you've come across other people getting bullied, or if you've been bullied yourself, how do you react to it? Do you, just go crazy back and like go and like attack them, or do you kind of defend yourself once and then leave it, or do you just ignore it? Like, I want to know your guys' best advice on how to deal with it.
Yes. Oh, we have 2 people who want to come on. I need to send a link out.
Oh, snap.
We have some good people. You'll know them. I'm going to add one of them now in Google Hangouts. I'm going to send another one now in Google Hangouts as well. So 1. And the other person, where is he? Is here. And I'm going to send him a link right now as well. There we go. Charlie, I've sent you a link in Google Hangouts, in our Google Hangouts chat, if you want to go and click the link, because, yeah, yesterday I kind of nearly got myself in trouble, so I'm not going to put it in the chat.
Uh-oh.
I've sent it in Google Hangouts, so, yeah, I'm going to
learn
more on the head.
Becky says, I try to address it once and then never attempt to defend myself again. I have to. Yeah, I would say that here's the thing too. Like, I feel like you shouldn't have to defend yourself a lot of the times. And like, that kind of sounds weird, but like, if you're not guilty of doing something wrong, right? Like, I usually at least don't feel the need to defend myself. If I do, it's one time and then I leave it. So that's how I always deal with it.
Yes. And we just got a request from Spy John in the chat. He says he wants to come and chat about it. I'm going to type my email for you, John, in the chat. Add me on Hangouts. And then I'll add you because I don't want to risk the chat. So I'm just going to put my email in the chat for John. If you want to add me on Hangouts, John, send me a chat request. And then I will add you so you can come and chat to me and Rachel. That'd be a lot of fun. Hey, Zach, how are you? If Lulu or anyone wants to come on, I'll send the link to Charlie Gordon. If you want to check your Hangouts, I've just sent you a message with the link. Hey, Jasmine's Entertaining, how you doing? Good to see you. I did just see your name pop up. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. And good night, Howie from Food Forest Permaculture. He's taken off. Have a good night. I hope you do well. It's good to see you. Thanks for staying in for quite a long time. Becky Barton says, once upon a time, life was nothing but music, animals, wine, and my writing. And of course, working and paying my bills, and literally nothing else. Not even clothes. And everything changed. Oh dear, Becky. John, I'm trying to think the only other way that I can probably John, message me on Twitter. John, you have me on Twitter. Message me on Twitter and I'll send a link to Twitter for you. And then you can connect that way. because I don't really want to risk it by putting it in the chat. You know, I did that yesterday, but yeah, I only had 2 trolls try to come on, so no.
Yeah, people are crazy like that.
And we have our guest, Charlie is here. Let me just add him to the stream. Hello, Charlie. Can we hear you?
I can't hear him.
Charlie?
There he is.
I think I can hear him. No, I can't. Charlie, we can't hear you. I think your audio is muted. I can see you. Oh, there we go. We can hear you.
Hear me?
What's your thoughts on this topic? Yes, we can, Charlie.
No.
We can hear you, Charlie. I can hear you. I just heard you.
I can't hear.
Oh, maybe have him go out and then come back in.
Yeah, Charlie, if you go back out and come back in again like you did yesterday, because it did happen to you yesterday as well.
Here, I'll type in the chat.
All right.
For him. Oh, whoa. Apparently you did hear you though, because he went.
A second ago, it kind of cut out and then come back in. I think his phone has a habit of doing that because he's on his. He has to use his phone.
Yeah,
so,
that happens sometimes.
Yeah, that happens. If anyone else,
back.
Is he back?
He's back. He's there. Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Hey, Hardens James, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. My guest is the lovely, adorable Bug Talk, aka Rachel. She's a really, really lovely channel. If you don't know Bug Talk, go and get connected to her. She's a lovely, lovely lady and does a lot of inspirational streams and does a lot of debate on mental health and talks about her own experiences. She's a pleasure to talk to. I talk to her quite a lot. So get to know Bug Talk if you want to get some detail and some inspiration and advice. She's a really good channel to be part of. So definitely go and ring the bell, subscribe, and leave some comments, and then she'll know that you've come from my stream. I would appreciate it.
Gemma's too nice to me.
Well, of course I am, sister. Hey, Connie.
Okay, he's back now.
I can hear now. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Charlie, in case you don't know Bug Talk is Rachel, and I've known Rachel for quite a long time, so.
Hello, Rachel.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise, nice to meet you too.
Yes. So I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are about this.
I literally, when it comes to bullying, I literally detest them. It obviously, it has happened to me in the past. Me personally, I figured out a way to beat them was to actually kind of like join them in a manner of speaking. Is I just started picking on myself, and they have nothing. They had nothing for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So but bullying really kind of stems from an upbringing, because bullying is like hatred. Hatred is instilled into our youth. Because I watched my toddler the other day at a birthday party, and he was just running around with all the little kids, and not a single solitary hateful thing.
Yeah.
And we as we grow up, we watch television, and it goes through like our upbringings and stuff like that. And somebody had told me, they said, well, figure your bully as a person who's taught how to hate, for racist reasons.
Yeah.
It's learned. It's drilled into your head. It's not something that we just know.
Oh yeah. I mean, you look at kids and they, like you said, I mean, they're just totally innocent. All they know how to do is love. And it's a lot of showing them. We need to show them that that's what's important, is to love, and not show them to be mean to other people. We got to teach them acceptance and all of that stuff. So
correct.
I agree with that 100%.
And the main reason I wanted to come up is not because of me. You can bully me all you want. I just don't care. I'm too old. I'm too old for the games. this actually comes from my oldest daughter, who's 13. She's about to turn 14 in February. Last year, my ex-wife contacts me via Facebook, and she's telling me, Charlie, I need to talk to you. I was at work, so I can't communicate on during work hours.
Yeah.
And so when I finally, when I got home, I settled in, ate dinner, and I got in contact, and I said, well, what's going on? Because usually when she said, so I need to speak with you, it's usually something kind of daft. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, it's like, well, okay, what is it now? And she's like, it's about your daughter. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now she said it's about my daughter. So like, what happened? So I called her up on Messenger, mm-hmm. and she had told me, she goes, I just found out your daughter's been getting bullied in school. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that kind of was, pardon my language, because this really aggravates me, but I got really pissed.
Yeah.
And I like literally, I am the type of parent. I am very protective over my children, and I will take a bullet for my kids, or vice versa, if I had to. I'm one of those ones that, I'm old school. I don't like violence, but if you're going to be violent towards one of my kids, you're really you're poking a bear.
Yeah.
And when she told me that my daughter had a bottle of prescription pills and she was about to consume the whole bottle, I was literally about to go to war. And she had said that, Shex is in tears, hysterical, and she's saying, Charlie, these bullies almost took our daughter's, made our daughter take her own life. And that at that moment in time, I became the kid for anti-bullying. And
well, I must say, you're an amazing dad. Like, a lot of respect towards you. I get that. I have a young son, and he's not quite into school yet. But I can imagine how hard that would have to be to know that your child's being picked on. Our children are perfect to us, and they're our world. So when that comes up, and a lot of the times in schools too, they don't do enough. The kids come to them and they tell them things, and the school doesn't do anything.
And that's the. Go ahead, Gemma.
No, as you start, that's okay. You can go.
So I
was just going to say what Rachel was saying about.
Well, I'm not the, I'm a little, I just don't know. Right now, I just don't know, because this absolutely drives me absolutely insane with anger, because when I was a kid, I'm 46 years old. So when things were a little bit different back then. When I was a kid, bullying was just at school or in the park. And you went home and you didn't have to deal with it. Nowadays, you got Twitter, you got Fedborg, you got YouTube, you got Instagram, you've got all of this, and the bullying doesn't end. It's gotten to a point where kids and I'm saying kids, up until their 20s, are taking their lives, and they're videotaping this. And they're putting it on YouTube, they're putting it on Twitter, they're putting it on Instagram, and they're putting it on Facebook. And you know what? You're right. The schools don't do anything. The cops don't do anything, because they're all about useless. The social media giants, they don't care, because you know what? It's just they're getting views. They're getting views. They're getting paid for this.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got all this stuff going on, and you got good channels like ours that get shadow banned, but they let all these trolls come in here because trolls are bullies too.
Mhm.
Trolls are bullies too. Anybody want to argue with me? I will argue with you, and I pick my arguments very, 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 very intelligently.
Yeah.
I won't argue something unless I know I can win. I'm not your typical guy.
Yeah. No, I'm that way too. I get it.
You know, I mean, I choose my battles wisely, and you know what? I don't usually lose. You know, but when it comes to bullying, I see it as when they're telling somebody going on and they're calling them names, and they're calling people, you know, and they're telling people, oh, you should just kill yourself.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Why don't you do us the favor, Mr. Bully or Mrs. Bully, and why don't you jump off the bridge?
Yeah, I don't know if I go that far to tell them that. I just want them to
Yeah,
go help with whatever they're going through, because that's what I always think. I think there's something going on with them. If you're living with that much hate,
there is definitely, you know, I mean, it's, I guess, you know, from what people have told me, that you know, like I've talked to people who've done bullying,
mm-hmm.
you know, and I've got, you know, and I've had them come up to, I guess you would say come up to my level or whatever like that. I don't know about my level, but
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right. And they sit there and it says, you know, and I was like, what creates a bully? What creates someone out there and literally pick on somebody to make somebody hate themselves? And they says, well, you know, this person goes, my parents, for one, and my family, you know, their family is very brutal, very bitter, very hateful. And I tell them, I was like, rise above it.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Rise.
Citizen TV just said a comment. He said, best way to stop a bully is to stop sharing the pictures, etc., to other people, and explain to them personally how much it's hurting their friends or family and the damage to the victims. I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes even with that, I mean, trying to get a bully to understand the consequences of what they're doing, they don't see it, because I absolutely agree with Charlie. They grow up in this very toxic environment where their entire family is just like that. So they think it's the normal. They don't understand that maybe that person has feelings as well. And it's extremely sad and alarming to see children who are 12 years old or younger, or, you know, anybody really, who gets pushed to the point where they feel like the only way out of this, because it does follow them home. And I mean, they literally have no break from it. Even if they have parents, I mean, as parents, we can only do so much, and it's frustrating. But, you know, they get to the point where they feel the only way out is to take their lives. And that is so crazy to me, that our children have to deal with that kind of pain at such a young age.
Yeah, it's insane.
I agree with what both of you are saying. It's the case of knowing how to help somebody and the strategies how to help either a child or an adult with bullying. And the problem is people don't know how to do it. And it's that line of, what do I offer? What do I say without risking further damage or mental health issues? So that's why I watch the streams. It's like such a grey area of, oh, what do you say before you get yourself into trouble? So
yeah, it's a hard thing to navigate, and especially if it's happened to your child, because, you know, you have that parental instinct to just go on the attack. But a lot of the times, unfortunately, when you do that, sometimes you can't get the help that you need for your child. So that's something that I would try to keep in mind. It's frustrating when you go to the schools. I don't know if you've gone to the schools about it or not, and if they've done anything. But sometimes if you go in there guns blazing, they won't help you. They'll go on the defensive because they think that you're trying to attack them and that you're going to go after them. So just really open communication as much as you possibly can, and just trying to make a plan. you know. And then a lot of the times people always say, go talk to whoever's bullying your kids, their parent. But a lot of the times that won't work because it starts at home.
Right.
Yeah.
And not only that, let's just say you do try to do the sensible thing, and you go to said kid's house or adolescent's house, and like the father comes to the door, and you sit there and say, hey, with all due respect, your child's been bullying mine, and then next thing you know, an altercation goes between you and the other parent.
Yeah.
So there, and again, that's where it goes, where you choose your battles wisely, because you don't know, how bad, how volatile that other child's life is.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, we see, like what we see, as adults that have children that are being bullied. We just see the kind of like the facade storefront of what's really going on. And we judge, although we try not to, but we judge on what we're seeing from that child. We're not sitting there trying, and we're getting angry because it's not supposed to happen to your child. You try like hell to protect your child, and what you're doing is you're not failing as a parent.
No,
you're just not seeing it. You're not seeing what's going on because you let you leave your child leaves for school, or you bring your child to school, and they're in that school for 6, 7, 8 hours or what have you, and they're out of your sight.
Yeah.
And you're leaving them in the protection of strangers.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, I had it drilled in my head never to talk to a stranger. So back how weird it is to talk to a teacher, you don't know, and you're supposed to talk to them. So it's kind of like so even right there is making your parents look like a hypocrite. Oh, you're not supposed to talk to strangers, but my teacher's a stranger. So I got to talk to them. Now, how do I know that my teacher isn't some sort of a whack job too?
Yeah.
What if, I've seen it where teachers have even bullied kids.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen it too.
And we're supposed to trust these individuals that go to school. They've been taught all their lives how to educate children. And we're supposed to trust these people.
Yeah, and essentially we don't know them either. At least for me, my plan going forward is when my child starts getting into school, I want to make sure that he knows that you need to listen to the teachers, but at the same time, if the teachers are doing something that makes you uncomfortable, that makes you upset, you come to me and you tell me. And it's not, don't just go by everything that your teacher tells you or anything like that. If something makes you feel uncomfortable, come to me and talk to me about it. And I will dang well be down at that school going at that teacher.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's a hard thing because, we send our kids into the world. We don't have a lot of control about what they're exposed to, how people treat them. It's just very important that they feel that they can come and talk to us when they do run into the situations. And, we do our best to allow them to feel that they're comfortable talking to us about that with no judgment from us.
Yeah, exactly. Right. If any guys have any more questions, if you want to put it in the chat. If not, we'll start bringing it to a close, and then we'll just carry on the hangout after this if people want to. If you've got any more questions, put them in the chat. Tag me, Bug Talk, or Charlie, and we'll try and read them and answer them. So if you want to put some more questions in the chat for people.
Yeah, because I can't see the chat.
I can a little bit. I haven't been checking it a lot.
Hello, and Lulu says, "You're welcome, Gemma. Our kids are subjected to an adult world dealing with adult issues." Absolutely agree, Lulu. Absolutely. Thank you, Michelle. If you want to drop some questions and let us know what you think of the stream, then we'll wrap it up. And if you want to, then we can set up a hangout after this. And if you want to join the Google Hangout before it goes away. So yeah, let us know if you want to drop any more questions in the chat. Time will be now. I think it's fine. John was trying to connect, but I don't know where he went. So
Well, before we go, I just want to say, Charlie, good luck with your situation. Let your daughter know
Thank you.
that she's absolutely beautiful and she's brilliant and she deserves the world. I know you will because you're an amazing father.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, and the thing is that she actually is a beautiful soul.
No, I know she probably is. No doubt.
And but she's got a mouth on her. She's definitely her daddy's daughter.
Oh yeah, well, you know what? A lot of children, man, they'll talk back to you. No question about that. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, and then did you say she's like 14? I think.
She's going to be 14 in February.
Yeah, I feel like she's probably going through that little change in your life that makes you very moody and stuff. So.
Yeah, she's been going through that since she's about 11.
Yep.
Trust me, it broke my heart. No daddy wants to see their daughter growing up.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, even my kids, he's only 1, and he's growing like a weed, and I'm just like, can you just slow down? So
I know, right?
Hell,
I have a 2-year-old. His name is Tyrion, and
I love that name.
Thank you. I'm a Game of Thrones fan.
Yes, Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Woohoo.
But yeah, he's going to be 3 in October, and and I'm 5. I'm about 5'10", and he's about half my height.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy cow! He's gonna be a big guy then.
Yep. Let's
Hopefully
hope so.
Means
We
that
don't.
Nobody will pick on him.
I hope he doesn't follow after Tyrion Lannister, though.
Yeah. Well,
Guys,
if he does, I'm sure you'll still love him.
Yes,
Oh,
I think we're going to start
of
wrapping
course.
this stream up now, guys. It's been a really cool stream. It's been an hour and 45 minutes nearly. So we're going to wrap this up, guys. You want to say thank you to my panelists for being here, Bug Talk, Rachel actually at Door, Hesh, my sister, and Charlie, my brother. So we're going to say goodbye and wrap up. Any last thoughts, anybody, before we wrap this one up?
Thanks for having me, Gemma, and it was nice to meet you, Charlie.
It was nice meeting you too.
And I shall talk to the chat and to my panelists later, and we'll see you another day, chat. Thank you for being here. Smash the thumbs up. Subscribe to my panelists, Bug Talk and Charlie Gordon. Their channels are in the chat, and also you can find them in my moderators. So when you see them, click the name, subscribe, and ring the bell. And thank you for watching, guys. It's been awesome. And take care, and we'll see you all soon. Bye, guys.
Hey, Gemma.
Yeah.
Gemma.
Bye.
50 likes.
Nice. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Much love to everybody in the chat.